Alright guys, Jed Scott here, and we're going to do a boring video for a lot of people, but I'm just one of those people. This is one thing I really love, and that's my tools. A lot of mechanics will understand what I'm saying, is their tool collection and their box is a reflection of them as a person. And this is an old Craftsman box that I have restored. I painted it Buick Nailhead Green just because I wanted a different color. And I collect vintage decals, and I have decaled it up. My TRW sticker and my Mallory igniter. Of course, that's the Mallory distributors I typically run. And everything I have on here has a little funny shit, like my Edelbrock sticker says Edelbrock is gay, which is just a joke. I'm not a big Edelbrock guy, but I'm just not a big fan of it. Comp Cams loves penis. Hughes Engines kicks ass. Excel rocks. Thrush sounds killer. And of course, there's a Craftsman logo. I like to personalize everything I got. I don't know what year this box is, but I bought this box for $20 out of a scrapyard. And they had the bottom for it, but they didn't know where it was. So right now it's just sitting on a beer keg, which I don't think it gets much more American than that. And then here's my other little box. This is my tote around to the strip and when I go places to help people. My other one, the old reflective Comp Cams sticker, the holographic, and then STP Indy 500 winner, crane cams, manly valves, Moroso, all that stuff. Edelbrock manifolds, Holly manifolds, Indy cylinder head, and of course American flag. And what used to be my signature. There's nothing in this, but this is an old clamshell box. It opens up, well, when it wants to, it opens up like that. It's hard to do with one hand, but it opens up like so. I gotta work on these hinges again. But it opens up like that, and then you got your trays. That opens up. But anyways, let's talk about the actual box here. I knocked a piece down. That's sweet. But my favorite thing about this box really is that you can close all the drawers and lock it, and they won't open. So that still works, but I don't want the keys, so I don't want to lock it. And then the handles. I just like these handles. But anyways, you open it up, and you're met by a myriad of more decals, and that's the original hammered gray texture. But inside here you have just a bunch of stuff that I use. You know, these are my actual tools. Always got headphones in here for when you're grinding. An extra Holly metering block in case you need it. Old ass tubing cutter. See, what brand is this? NYE number 10, 3/16 to 3/4. And NYE Tool Company. I remember buying that at an antique mall, and my dad made fun of me for buying it. And we use this thing more than he uses his brand new one. I love that thing. It's cool. It's chrome. And this is one of the first vintage tools I ever bought. An old made in USA Craftsman. Really old Craftsman logo. If we can focus, there we go. This one I don't remember if it works. I can't remember. We're going to find out. Yep, it works. That's the best thing about old tools, and it's a fine tooth. Old tools will always outlast new stuff. I don't use that one. It stays in there basically as good luck. Of course, you know, you got a few. I don't have very many 1/4-inch drive ratchets, so I got a few newer Craftsmans in here. A Stanley, and this poor bastard. It's handy if it worked. This thing don't work at all. Wait. Oh no, yeah, it's locked in place. It don't work anymore. And of course, I have a couple of old Snap-on Ratchets. Number 71M Snap-on USA. This one, I keep a 1/2-inch drive to 3/8 drive adapter on it because all my sockets are 3/8 drive in this box, but it sounds real good, real clean. I like it. One thing, my favorite tool brand from the old times, it's the same thing what my dad told me. My grandpa always used these. It's a company called Indestro. and Indestro are my tool of choice. I have always had good luck with them. Let's see if we can. Hard to do with one hand. It don't sound real good, but this thing has saved my ass a lot. And you know, old tools tell a story, and I love old tools. Plus, they outlast new stuff. But my favorite of all my tools is this one ratchet. I can't tell you where I got it from, but it's what started my love for Indestro, and you can hear it, how good it is. Always keep an extension on it, but it's another old Indestro. And this thing, I just love to death. I don't let anybody use it. It's mine. Nobody touches this ratchet but me. It's like my woman. It's mine. And it hardly ever sits outside of the box. My old Speedy Wrench, which came from my good friend Jimmy, always wanted a Speedy Wrench, and he gave this to me. It came from his dad. And use this thing to snug up bolts, obviously, so I love that. And then, of course, some Hemi push rods, which every toolbox needs. Every box needs a set of Hemi push rods. And one of my favorite things, I will say this, and there's going to be a lot of favorite things, is my granddad, he had a saying. Well, he had a couple of sayings. One of them was, stay away from your work, and it's up for debate what that actually meant. But we have a lot of these super long extensions. Over there in that corner, we have enough extensions that when you stack them up, they're well over how tall I am, and I'm 6 foot tall. And always got to have plenty of extensions. 1/2 inch drive, whatever you need, 1/4 inch, wobbles. And then this box, which has got red metal flake I restored, it's got a few sockets in it. Don't really use those. I mainly use this one rail that I pieced together from a bunch of our old random sockets. And then over here I got some just old sockets that I like. I don't use them. I think this one's a Snap-on. I think most of these are old Snap-ons that I just like. And then you gotta have your good old knife. Good old knife. That came from Jimmy's mom. She gave that to me because she thought I needed a knife. I thought that was funny. And then, of course, open it up and you got screwdrivers. Nothing fancy in here, really. The only thing really fancy is these little guys, which I kind of like. I don't have a whole lot of vintage screwdrivers in here. However, the cool screwdrivers are actually over here in the garage set. Old aluminum handle ones. We have the Phillips, the flathead, and the nut driver. And they all have that little feature, which is almost worthless because you're guaranteed just to slip off your screw and break it. It's kind of worthless, but it's cool, all nonetheless. And then over here is where I keep my Allen heads and everything, and I very rarely use these. I hate Allen heads. There's nothing worse than that. And of course in here I have a compression tester. I have some baling wire because you never know we're going to need some baling wire. My favorite pair of Stanley branded vice grips. Not really vice grips because vice grip is a brand. Of course, feeler gauges, and my mat in there is all sorts of messed up. And of course, spark plug wire crimpers. You know, just simple shit in that one. Then you open the big drawer and it's all the actual wrenches. And a carburetor wing nut. And a beer cap for some reason. Don't ask me why. Buddy Bobby gave these to me. These are little magnets that you sit inside your sockets and make sure you don't lose your shit. They're pretty handy. Never really used them though. Don't ask me how I know they're handy. I just imagine they are. One thing I will show you that I find very amusing is my collection of Crescent Wrenches. This one was made in Germany and it is tiny. And then I have this one. And then I have this one, which I bought at a local thrift store. And as you can see, someone put some torque to that baby. I haven't fixed it because I like it just the way it is. And of course, a few vintage tools that came from my grandpa that I just really like. And this one, I think this is an Indestro. Yep, this is an Indestro. This thing is massive. It's not huge. I've had a lot bigger Crescent wrenches, but this thing will fuck someone up if you hit them in the head with it. So yeah, you know, these are all just, I think these are, what brand were these? Popular Mechanics. Just stuff that we had laying around. Before I had this toolbox, we had just a bunch of random tools laying around, so I made use of that. And then in here, I just have this extra full set, which I never use. But in here is where I keep another one of my Indestro half-inch drives. This one's a little bit newer. I have this polished Snap-on, which one of these is, yeah. So let me show you something that's kind of cool. So I have these two Snap-ons, and they're almost identical. But this one has an M, where this one has an A. I looked it up, and this is military. And you see how the finish is different between the civilian one and also the teeth count. The military one is much coarser. And I just dropped it. Now, I'm not a Snap-on guy. I don't like spending the money on their tools. Of course, you see what I have, but it's kind of cool that there was two different versions. And then this thing I just got in the mail yesterday, which I haven't done any work to. I'm going to restore it. It's another old Indestro Super, and it's a reversible type. And by reversible, I mean you can pop out the actual pin, and now you have a half-inch drive for like a square plug and stuff. This thing feels like it's got a bend to it as well. Yeah, you can pop that out and flip it around, even though it's kind of worthless because this thing is symmetrical. But you get your trigger out of the way, I guess. And it did come with an Indestro socket, which I like. I don't have any Indestro sockets, but now I do. So there's that drawer, and then the bottom drawer is just more boring wrenches. You never know when you're going to need a good end wrench. And tape, holy shit. I needed that the other day. Oh well, we'll put it back in there. But yeah, you know, I just wanted to do a little video, just showing you guys, because I don't know how many of you out there are into old tools like I am, but I just really love old vintage tools. And as a kid, I thought it was just silly. My dad would spend hours at the swap meet looking at old tools, and I was like, come on, Dad, let's go find something cooler. And as I've gotten older, I really appreciate old tools and the stories that they tell, because somebody went and bought that tool brand new, and it was either their baby, it made them money, it did something for that person, and I love that fact. And plus, old tools last a hell of a lot longer than new stuff. Excuse me as I put everything away one-handed. But yeah, I just thought it'd be a cool little video, mainly for me, so that way I can look back on it in a couple of years. If my garage ever burns down, I can be like, that's everything I had in that box. I need to regain all that stuff. So yeah, that is my old ass Craftsman box and all of the tools that are in it. Of course, then we have that box, which is the garage box and has all the actual tools in it we use most of the time. And then there's my carry-all box, which you've seen. So, just wanted to show you guys, you know, what I have to work with. Anyways, guys, love it, hate it. I want to do this video more so for myself. And I'll hope to see you in the next video, guys. Stay tuned. There'll be plenty of cool shit going on. And see you in the next one. Bye.